Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Today I have a special guest. His name is Joe DeStefano, and he is totally one of the coolest people you'll ever meet. I hope you enjoy this fragment of the conversation that we had on my podcast, the Daily Inspirational Podcast, which you'll see here, and you can catch the links below to get to it through my website. And of course, Joe's podcast from Los Angeles, known as the Stacked Podcast, which you'll also see here as well, and there's a link to it down below. Today's conversation is about stress and stress in our lives. These are just excerpts from the main podcast, which you can pick up on either Joe's podcast on Apple or mine as well. But either way, I'm telling you, pay attention, soak it up a little bit, because there's a lot of great things about this podcast that can help you to deal with stress and to keep your body and your mind healthy. So I hope you enjoy it, and don't forget to check out the links below. Thanks. Because, there's not enough of people in the world who are willing to take their entire life and expose it to help somebody else get to where they want to go.
Right.
And like I say to all of my clients, no matter who they are, I can't do it for you.
Right.
But I can show you pathways and dead ends that I've lived through, and you might want to consider what I said in your own path and development.
Right.
Fortunately for me, having a background in brain and neurology, I understand on some greater level than the average person how that brain works. Explain it to them from that perspective, and they go, oh.
And that's really a gift of yours, right? Is taking what is hard to digest and making it
Palatable.
simple.
Yeah.
And that's what you did for me.
Yeah.
On the whiteboard, right? Because you're like, this is what's going on. This is the basal ganglia.
Yes. Oh my God, you're right on.
This is where you're screwed up.
Yeah, you're right.
That says this to its friend, oxytocin, whatever, right? Like, whatever the thing was. And I remember being like, oh shit, well, we could probably fix that.
Yes.
And
we figured out a way to do that,
Yeah.
Not out of thin air, because it was intention, as we talked about intention. We had to be attentive. We have to know what we're after, what we're trying to do. And then you adjust along the way, right? Because like one day you could come in and I do something and it has a great response for you. Mm-hmm. And then the next day it's opposite of that.
Right.
But then again, you've spent a whole 24 hours somewhere else. And there's other integers that affect that. Could be blood sugar, could be lack of sleep, dehydration, could be an emotional issue with somebody that you love right now. And all these things are all in there. So we can't try to, compare one person's response to another, or even the same person's response from one day to the next. Because the only thing that's real is what you said before. It's the moment that you're in.
Right.
Sometimes doctors will say, in the neurology world, I don't know why he said she had a VA ratio of the eye of 3-to-1. That's not even close to true. I've got the high-end system that shows it's 1-to-1. So your doctor was lying to you. No, you weren't there on that day.
Yeah.
On that day, it could have been 3-to-1, right?
Yeah,
but today it isn't.
Right.
It's like, oh my God.
Right.
So as I look at where I've come in my life and where you have, I learned one thing, that I don't know anything.
Right.
And because the more I am focused on these relationships that I have and how it affects my body and how I can communicate it, in the middle of a conversation, I go, oh my God, there's 9 million other pieces to this that I don't get.
Right.
And what does it make me? Humble.
Right.
And it brings
what are
me
the
back.
4 no's? The 4, you know, you don't know.
Oh, yeah.
You don't know, and you don't know, you don't know.
I was one of my patients was a parent, and she said to me that she struggles with her daughter because she knows everything.
Right.
I go, she does know everything. She goes, what do you mean? I go, she knows everything. I can definitely tell you she knows everything. And she goes, what do you mean? I said, I want you to think of this. Does she have a bedroom in your house? Yes. Okay. So she goes into her bedroom. Does she know every inch of that bedroom? She's probably got stuff hidden that she doesn't even want you to see, right?
Yeah.
She knows everything about that room. She has a closet, more than likely, because that's what makes a bedroom a closet, right? So she's got a closet and a bedroom. So she has her egress and her windows, and that's what she knows. That's her world. So she knows everything. But you, the adult, when you go into your closet, you open it up to put something on, you look beyond the clothes and you see that there's a door in your closet. And you open that door, and what do? You walk into a very small room with 5 more doors. Then you get a little inquisitive. So you open one of those doors, and then there's 100,000 doors waiting for you. Then you decide to get enough courage to open one of them, Now there's more doors than the eyes can see. And what you finally come to and to realize in your life, you don't know anything.
Right.
There's more doors than you can imagine. So while you're completely frustrated in your own stuff and your kid thinks they know everything, they're just developing the point where at some point they're going to look in the back of their closet and go, there's another door here. Then they're going to open it and they're going to go, oh my God. Yeah. And that's when the parent says, by the time they're 25, they tend to come back around and become your friend again because they learn to open a door.
Right.
And they realize that they don't know. The more I study brain and neurology, the more I realize I don't know anything.
Right.
But what I do know, other people go, that's amazing.
Right.
That's why I maintain my humility. And I'm like, not really. Because let me tell you, I'm scratching the surface of something that I see.
Right.
They're like, I know, but it's really cool. And we're clueless.
Right.
I go, okay, I have to accept that you think it's amazing. But I still do it. I still study it. And by the end of the day, I realize, oh my God, I need to maintain humility because tomorrow something's going to come right in front of me and I'm going to be clueless about how to deal with it. And then I'm going to have to learn again. I have to learn through painful situations how to become an amazing person beyond that. There's a great book out there. And I hope everybody takes a peek at it. It's called No Mud, No Lotus. It was written by Thich Nhat Hanh.
Okay.
And it's about how to suffer as a human. Now, we don't want to suffer as humans. Everybody's trying to stop each other from suffering, right? Or, well, at least the good people in this world.
No mud.
No mud, no lotus, Lotus. And the premise is this, that no mud, no lotus is that the lotus flower is one of the most beautiful and aromatic flowers in the Orient. It floats on top of the water and has a long stalk that is now within the mud.
Right.
So the mud is pretty gross.
Right.
Matter of fact, as the season dries up and the water begins to recede, it becomes very pungent, the smell. Instead of the flower, you smell the mud that it came from. So the reality is that in our lives, we have pain and suffering, which is represented by the mud. But from pain and suffering grows a beautiful flower that enjoys the warmth of the sun, only to have a cycle of time.
Right.
And then it actually dies and recedes to the mud, which is an ugly, painful place to be, but then reactivates another lotus flower.
Right.
And this is our life. We have to go up and go down. And because I have a right hand, why is it a right hand? Because I also have a left. So the only reason I have a right is because there is a left.
Right.
The only reason that I can have joy and happiness in my life is because I have suffered and felt what it's like to be human and to realize that there is pain and suffering as part of the human element. Right. But it is not there to knock you out. It's there to make sure that you're aware of it so that the more beautiful moments are actually completely in reaction to the negative moments. Mm-hmm. So if you have a slightly negative moment, then you have a slightly negative happiness afterwards.
Right.
But the deeper the depth of you, Joe DiStefano, realizing I left a job, I ain't got a pot to piss in, and now I've got to figure it out, that's deep mud, brother.
Right.
And then from the deep mud, what grew?
Right.
The development of a team around you and people who love and care about you, and you're like, oh my God, now you're in the sunshine.
Right.
And Joe, as we sit here, what is the next retreat to the mud that each one of us will experience?
100%.
We don't know, right?
Right.
But what we do know this one thing, that we've built a community of people around us, including both of us, that will always be there to help bolster the perspective, to pick us up when we need it, and realize that it's okay. And the young kids don't know this.
Right.
So they get beat up by life. They're negative and they're angry and they just feel so defeated. And I'm shaking. I'm going, no. That's the good stuff. That's the stuff that gets you where you want to go. Just hang in there long enough. And then it happens and they go, oh my God.
Right.
Why didn't somebody teach me this before?
Right.
Which is the validation to the work that I am been blessed and honored to do. And now you feel the same way. Amazing stuff.
100%. It's
Yes,
that
sir.
Antifragility.
Yes.
Right. And, it was interesting because you had said earlier about living your dreams and like all these things. And I think that, I think a lot of people don't appreciate the mud. And I think maybe it's because I live in Hollywood. I don't know. But when a lot of people that achieve success only achieve success to realize they're still not happy. Wow. And then because there wasn't appreciation, right?
Right.
And the more dangerous thing maybe is if you don't experience the mud, you make the mud yourself.
Back to your first point, right?
Right. And so, and again, it's like when you're on the path, you don't know enough about it to really judge it. So the mud, that anti-fragility, that experience is what shapes you.
Yeah.
And ultimately, if you did live every day perfectly, you know, after a little while, you'd look for some resistance.
Yeah.
You'd crave some spontaneity or something to come in and mix it up. Like the mailman, hey, like
Can you imagine Hollywood making a movie that was just pure happiness from the beginning to the end? What good is that? You
what
need to feel
hero's
the
journey
pain.
is that?
Right.
No, exactly.
You need Rocky Balboa to get beat up,
Right.
to feel the pain of his existence, only to rise above it all. That's what makes the human element so powerful.
Right.
Amazing stuff. I love it. And I love having you here with me today. We got a lot of stuff we covered.
I don't even know how long this podcast
I don't
has
either,
been.
but we'll laugh about it later.
Yeah.
Of course, I'll chop it up into segments, and I'll give people an opportunity to, to pick up on some of the things that we've talked about here.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So what do you say? You want to lock this up now and move on?
Yeah. What else can we talk about? I think we should call it soon.
Yeah. I'm ready anyway. I mean, we've covered a lot, and I'm going to have a lot of stuff that I'll chop up.
Well, this is episode 1.
Yeah, episode 1, and there'll be many, many more to come.
Yeah.
And I just want to say that I'm very honored to be your friend, and I'm very fortunate to have you here today.
Hey, right back at you, Doc. I couldn't be more excited. It's so weird, right? Because when I pulled in, I felt like I'd been here before. And I've been to your office
multiple times.
100 times. But I pulled in and it felt like I'd been here before.
Yeah.
And I just think that's so weird and
It's cool.
kindred and like really, talking about, whatever energetic things are between us. And, we both, like, when we think of each other, we go back to a decade ago and we both believed in each other. And it was like this beautiful thing. And now here we are today and we're both sharing our message. And
it's only going to get better. It's only going to be bigger, better, and we're going to reach more people so that people suffer less and enjoy more.
Right.
And maybe pass it on to future generations so that, I'm the ultimate optimist. I want people to prosper and be happy.
That's it.
Yeah. Buddy.
Hey.
Been great chatting today. Next time, I'm going to be in LA.
Hey. Come on out.
You know it, brother. All righty, kid. Ciao.